Welcome to the series from pythonspot.com, intended to teach you how to program Python. And in this tutorial we'll go into tuples. So a tuple is used to store a group of data. So let's start just with an empty tuple. We use curly brackets for that. And one item you would need to specify a comma in the end. So if you've seen the previous tutorial on lists, you'll notice the difference in here, that you must specify a comma at the end for one item. So you could specify a certain person, Diane, she's 32, from New York or whatever. And it's a collection of this data. So you might think that it's similar to tuples, but to lists, but they are different in the type that the tuples cannot be modified dynamically. So a list you can update runtime, you can change the values, but a tuple has some kind of protection that you cannot, that the data is sort of protected. So to print the elements you could use the ID. So 0 would be the first element, 1 would be the second, and 2 would be the third. Of course you can also specify elements of elements. So this means the first element and the first item. So this is the first element and the D would be the first item, and so on. So 1 would be the second item, 2 would be the third item, and so on. So printing the whole series would just show this. As I mentioned, the data access is kind of protected, but it doesn't mean you cannot modify it. So to add data, we can use the plus operator. So let's add some lucky number, and you'll see that it doesn't accept what I'm doing. And we did specify the tuple. Alright, so we got the wrong name here. So this is how you would add data to a tuple, and a tuple is protected in that sense. So if you want to modify a certain item, let's say the first element, and it throws an error. Hold on. Then it throws an error because tuples do not allow for modification. So the only way to update a tuple is to either convert it to a list or to create a new tuple that replaces the old tuple. So one way to do it is to convert it to a list. So let's convert the tuple to a list. And of course we can modify items in a list. And you could do a little trick, that's to convert the created list again to a tuple again. So this little trick will allow you to update a tuple. But the general idea is that you do not modify data from a tuple. That's what lists are for.